Under the endless dark of space, the great council of alien races gathered. Ships hung silent above a dead world, chosen because no living thing dared breathe its poisoned air. Inside the chamber, dozens of species argued, whispered, and conspired. Every one of them carried the same thought: humanity must be destroyed before it was too late. The Athari, scaled race with eyes like burning amber, pounded the table with a claw. Humans spread like a disease, he hissed. 1 century ago they were nothing. Now they touch the stars. If we wait another 100 years, they will touch us. A taller being with glass-like skin leaned forward, voice sharp. Already they build ships faster than light. Already they settle worlds we ignored. Not already they fight wars among themselves with weapons that rival our fleets. The chamber filled. With uneasy silence, each species remembered the reports fleets of human ships leaving Earth, carrying settlers, soldiers, machines. They remembered the whispers from spies, the rumors that humans learned faster than any race alive at last. The presiding voice of the council, a being older than empires, spoke. It is agreed. Humanity will not be allowed to rise. We will cut them down before they become what we fear. The chamber shook with approval. Dozens of voices, dozens of languages, all calling for the same thing: extinction, and through it all unseen, someone listened. At the back of the chamber, the shadow between 2 broken pillars, sat a figure no one noticed. A hood covered his face. His breathing matched the rhythm of machines around him. He sat still as if part of the room. But behind the hood, hidden eyes watched everything. Human eyes. The council believed themselves untouchable. Their secrets locked behind walls of power and fleets of warships. They never imagined a human could be here, inside their very heart, listening to their most guarded words. Yet he was, silent, patient, and smiling, as the aliens roared for blood. The hidden passenger pressed a small device beneath his cloak. The screen glowed faintly, symbols racing across it. Every word, every plan, every secret of the council was being recorded and transmitted. Across light years, far away on a blue and green world, human leaders would soon hear the truth. The galaxy had chosen to kill them all. One of the alien generals raised his voice. We should not delay. Strike Earth while they still believe themselves safe. A single coordinated attack fleets from every empire. Their world will burn before their children learn the word resistance. Cheers filled the chamber. The hidden passenger's smile only grew colder. He shifted slightly, his gloved hand brushing against a weapon strapped beneath his cloak. He did not intend to use it, not yet. His mission was not to kill, not to reveal himself. His mission was to listen, to wait, to know. And then, when the moment came to act, another alien spoke, its voice metallic and hollow. But there is danger in underestimating them. Already they adapt faster than our spies predict. They took one of our dead warships and turned its weapons against us within a month. Who learned so quickly? Who dares to think they can surpass us? The older council voice replied, filled with disdain. They are nothing. Children playing with fire. We will extinguish their flame before it becomes a storm. The hidden passenger tilted his head as if amused. Children, they called his people. Fragile, weak, too bold for their place in the stars. He had heard these words before, many times, but always the ones who spoke them ended up learning the same truth. Humans were never as weak as they seemed. Hours passed. The council drew maps, marked targets, and set timetables. They named the colonies to be destroyed, the trade lanes to be cut, the diseases to be spread through human settlements. Every detail, every cruelty was spoken aloud, and every word was carried away, stored within the small device, hidden beneath the cloak of the one they never saw. At last, the meeting ended. The alien leaders left one by one, confident in their plan. None of them looked toward the dark corner where the figure sat unmoving. None of them felt the quiet eyes that followed them. Only when the chamber fell silent did the hidden passenger rise. Slowly, carefully, he pulled back his hood. Pale skin, human face, cold, determined eyes. He whispered softly, as if speaking to the stars themselves. "They plot our death, but they do not know. We are already here." Then he vanished into the shadows, leaving nothing behind but silence, and the faint echo of a human voice that should not have been there. The galaxy believed humanity was still blind, still slow, still weak. But in that moment, in that silent chamber, the truth was clear. Humanity was watching. Humanity was listening. And soon, humanity would act. The hunter had already stepped into the den. None of the beasts knew he was there. The council chamber was never empty for long. After the first meeting ended, the alien leaders returned again and again, driven by one thought: fear of humanity. They did not admit it openly, not yet, but their voices trembled when the name of Earth was spoken. The scaled Athari leader was first to speak. His claws scratched the surface of the stone table, leaving deep scars. "Reports from the outer sectors grow worse," he said. "Human colonies appear faster than our ships can track them. They breed, they build, they expand with no care for limits. If they continue like this, in 50 years, they will outnumber us on the edge of our own territories." A tall creature with silver skin shook its head. "Numbers do not matter. It is their speed of change. Their science leaps forward like lightning. One year their ships crawl, the next they fly faster than ours. What kind of race learns like this? It is unnatural." Whispers filled the chamber. Each race carried its own reports, its own fears. A spider-like envoy spoke of humans mining asteroids their own kind had abandoned centuries ago. A feathered diplomat described human soldiers surviving conditions that would kill other species. Instantly, a hulking reptile growled that humans were already building weapons beyond what spies thought possible. The presiding elder raised a thin hand. And what of the attempt to slow them? Have our agents succeeded in weakening their supply lines? Another alien stood, scales flashing with unease. "We cut trade to one of their colonies. Within days, the humans created their own factories. When we poisoned their crops, they designed machines to feed themselves. When we spread disease, they built cures faster than we imagined." The council fell silent. The truth weighed heavily. Humanity was not slowing down. They were adapting, rising, becoming something more dangerous with every obstacle. In the shadows of the chamber, the hidden passenger listened. His hood hid his face, but his lips curved into the faintest smile. Every failure the aliens described was a victory for his people. Every fear they spoke was proof that humanity was no longer beneath. Notice they were becoming the nightmare. The galaxy had tried to prevent, the council argued on. "Then we must strike openly," one alien shouted. "We send fleets together. Earth will not survive a united war." "No," another hissed, tentacles curling. "If we strike too soon, they will resist. We must make them weak first, divide them. Let them fight each other until they cannot. Rise again." The elder leaned forward, eyes glowing. "Perhaps both. First we bleed them, then we strike the final blow. A predator waits until the prey stumbles. Humanity must stumble." The hidden passenger touched the small device beneath his cloak, recording every word. Far across the void, human leaders would soon hear this. They would know the galaxy was not only planning against them, it was terrified of them. An insectoid commander pounded the ground with a sharp limb. "I do not fear their numbers. I fear their spirit. I have seen it. When a human ship is attacked, they do not flee. They fight until nothing is left. They burn themselves rather than give us victory. Who does this? What race prefers death to? Surrender?" Another answered in a low growl. "A race that must be erased." The council agreed with dark murmurs. But their voices trembled, as if speaking the words aloud gave them no comfort. Fear lived in every corner of that chamber, hidden behind pride and arrogance. The hidden passenger felt the weight of that fear. He knew it well. It was the same fear humanity carried when they first looked to the stars and wondered what waited. There now, the galaxy had its answer. Humanity was waiting. Humanity was already inside. The elder gave the final command. "The plans are set. Agents will move at once. We will break their colonies, poison their unity, and when they are weak, the fleets will burn their homeworld. Humanity will end, and the galaxy will breathe again." Cheers echoed, though some voices were hollow. Some eyes darted nervously, as if afraid that even speaking against humans might draw their wrath. Only when the meeting ended did the hidden passenger rise again. His steps were soundless. His shadow clung to the walls. He moved unseen past guards, past drones, past scanners. No one noticed. No one ever did. Outside, he gazed at the alien stars and whispered into his device. His voice was calm, steady, filled with purpose. They fear us. They plan to break us. But they do not know. We are already stronger than they dream. Let them come. Let them try. Humanity will not fall. And with that, the message sped through hidden channels across light years, racing back to Earth. Soon, humanity would know everything. The aliens thought they were hunters, but already the trap was turning against them. The Council wasted no time. Once their decision was made, alien agents spread across the stars with orders to strike humanity in secret. They would not reveal their full power yet. Instead, they chose shadows, poison, and silence. The first strike had begun. On the trade routes between colonies, ships disappeared. A freighter filled with food for a young human world never arrived. A medical convoy lost contact, its signal cut mid-transmission. Miners on the edge of the belt reported sabotage, machines broken beyond repair. The aliens smiled in secret chambers, believing the cracks were forming. But on Earth and across the colonies, humans were watching too. Each failure was investigated. Each silence brought questions. And each attack revealed something the aliens did not expect. Humanity refused to break. On the colony of Rhea, when food shipments failed, the settlers grew their own. They dug farms into frozen soil, built greenhouses out of broken metal, and shared every bite until none starved. On Titan Station, when disease was released, doctors worked without sleep. Within weeks, they had created a cure not only for themselves, but a medicine that could heal others too. The Council was unsettled. Their shadows had not weakened humanity. They had made humanity stronger. Still, the aliens pressed on. Spread rumors, false messages, lies meant to divide humans against one another. But instead of turning on each other, the colonies grew closer. Earth sent ships filled with supplies. Soldiers offered protection. Scientists traded discoveries. Freely. The more the galaxy tried to divide them, the more united humanity became. In the dark of the council chamber, frustration boiled. They were supposed to stumble, roared a reptilian commander, tail lashing the stone floor. Why do they not collapse? Why do they only rise higher? They adapt, whispered a slender alien with glass-like skin. Every move we make, they answer faster than we predict. They learn as if they were waiting for us. Another slammed a claw against the table. Then who is betraying us? How do they know so quickly? Who tells them our plans? The words struck like a blade. For the first time, the thought spread. Through the chamber, perhaps there was a traitor. Perhaps someone inside the council was feeding the humans. In the shadows, the hidden passenger remained perfectly still. His hood covered his face, but behind it, his eyes gleamed. Every suspicion was a victory. Every seed of doubt was a step closer to their destruction. He did not need to strike. He only needed to wait. Across the colonies, strange events began to unfold. Alien sabotage teams vanished before they reached human targets. Weapons meant to explode inside human factories detonated early, destroying only the saboteurs. Hidden. Operatives disappeared without a trace, as if someone knew exactly where they would be. The council grew restless. Some demanded the spy be found. Others swore there was no spy at all, only human luck. But in the dark, they feared. One general leaned close to the elder and whispered, "If they are already among us, if they hear our words, then humanity is not prey. We are." Still, the council pressed forward with their plan. Fleets gathered in silence, their weapons hidden, their engines cold. Soon, they promised, the final strike would come. Yet even as they prepared, the hidden passenger moved. He walked the halls of their most secret places. He touched their walls, their machines, their war tables. and every step sent information, rushing back to Earth. On a quiet night above Mars, human commanders received the transmissions. They listened as alien voices spoke of sabotage, of fleets, of extinction. And when the final words arrived, when the council screamed for blood, one commander stood and whispered the answer. They wanted a first strike. Very well, but when we answer, there will be no second strike. Back in the alien chamber, the hidden passenger finally allowed himself a thin smile. The first strike had failed. The second was coming, and this time, it would not be the aliens who chose when. The galaxy believed humanity was cornered prey. But already the trap was turning. Already the prey had become the hunter. And somewhere in the shadows, a human voice whispered into the void, unheard by alien ears. Keep plotting. Keep striking. Every move you make brings us closer. You do not see it yet, but you will. You thought you were the hunters, but you have already been caught. The council chamber had changed. No longer filled with loud voices, it now carried whispers of suspicion. The first strike had failed. Humanity was not broken. Instead, every plan had turned against them. And now an invisible question spread like poison. Who among them was the traitor? The Athari commander glared across the table, claws tapping against the surface. Our agents vanish before their missions even begin. Someone warns the humans. Someone tells them where to strike. We are betrayed. Feathered diplomat screeched in defense. You dare accuse us? Perhaps it is your spies who fail. Perhaps your kind is too careless to fight this war. Another slammed a fist on the stone. Enough. If there is a traitor, we will find them. We will burn out every shadow until none remain. Yet the true shadow was already among them, listening in silence. The hidden passenger sat in the corner, who'd drawn low. None noticed him, as if their eyes simply slid away. He had learned long ago that the strongest disguise was not to hide completely, but to stand in plain sight while others chose not to see. For weeks, he had done more than just listen. He had begun to move pieces across the board. When the council blamed each other, it was because he whispered doubts into their ears. When fleets clashed in secret skirmishes, it was because he had shifted their orders. Already, rival species who once planned to unite against humanity now eyed each other with suspicion. In the silence of the chamber, the elder finally spoke. His voice was thin, but carried weight. The humans are not strong because of their weapons. They are strong because of their unity. If we are divided, we give them the same power. We must remain as one. But even as he spoke, his words sounded hollow. Mistrust was already rooted deep. No speech could pull it free. The hidden passenger felt the weight of his small device in his hand. Every whisper, every lie he planted, every secret he stole it, was all shaping the war before it began. Humanity had sent him here for this reason. To be not only a spy, but a shadow that twisted the enemy from within. And now the cracks were spreading. That night, 2 alien fleets met to join against Earth met in the void. Instead of saluting, their weapons lit the dark. Each believed. The other was preparing betrayal. Thousands of ships burned before the mistake was realized. The humans had not fired a single shot. The council raged when they learned of the disaster. Voices shouted, accusations flew. Some demanded trials, others demanded executions. The chamber shook with chaos. The hidden passenger moved quietly among them, his hood hiding the faint smile on his lips. His work was almost complete. They would tear each other apart long before they reached Earth. But suspicion was a dangerous weapon, even for the one who wielded it. One alien general, sharp and cunning, slammed his claw on the table. I see it now, he hissed. This is no accident. These are not failures of chance. Someone stands in this very chamber, guiding our fall. The room froze. Dozens of eyes turned, scanning the shadows, searching faces. For a heartbeat, the hidden passenger felt their gaze drift near him, his muscles tensed, ready to vanish, ready to kill if he must. But the suspicion turned elsewhere. The general pointed at a rival envoy, accusing him of treachery. Chaos erupted again, and the human slipped deeper into shadow. That night, as the council chamber emptied, the hidden passenger stood alone in the dark. Slowly, he lowered his hood. His face was calm, his eyes hard. "They will never trust each other again," he whispered. "They wanted to unite against us, but now they will bleed themselves dry." He raised his device, sending another message. Across the stars, on Earth, leaders would soon hear how the council was breaking apart, how fear was stronger than unity. Humanity's time was coming, and yet even as he walked through the silent halls, the human spy knew danger was growing. The council no longer trusted one another. Soon they would look closer. Soon they might even see him. But that was fine. He had waited too long in the shadows already. The time to hide was ending. The time to strike was near. As he vanished into the dark corridors, the galaxy stood unknowingly on the edge of war. Fleets gathered, weapons were built, plans were drawn, but none of it mattered anymore, because inside their most sacred halls, the shadow had already been unveiled. And he was human. The hidden passengers' transmissions did not travel through normal space. They moved through channels built long ago, tunnels in the void known only to a few. Across the distance of stars, his words reached Earth. And when the leaders of humanity heard the message, silence fell across every command hall. They listened as alien voices promised extinction. They watched recordings of the council planning to starve their colonies, to poison their people, to burn their world. Every detail, every cruel word played across their screens. The room was dark when the final recording ended. Generals stared at each other, pale with rage. Scientists whispered to one another, already thinking of countermeasures. Civilians who had been called to the meeting sat in stunned silence. At last, one voice broke the stillness. An old admiral leaned forward, his eyes hard as steel. "They think we are weak," he said. "They think we are prey. But we are not prey. We never were." The word spread through the room like fire. Murmurs turned to resolve. Orders were given. Silent fleets that had waited near Mars and Saturn lit their engines. Weapons stored in hidden vaults were armed. For years, humanity had grown in secret, building more than anyone guessed. Now, for the first time, all of it would be revealed. The hidden passenger had done his work. He had bought humanity the one thing it needed most time. And humanity had not wasted it. On Earth, factories roared with life. Drones carried steel, plasma, and fuel into the sky. In orbit, massive warships stirred, their hulls black as the void, their weapons sleeping but ready. Colonies across the system prepared, digging bunkers, raising defenses, and sharpening blades that were never meant to stay hidden forever. But it was not only machines that awakened, it was spirit. From miners on asteroids to children in crowded cities, the truth spread. The galaxy wanted them dead. And with that truth came a fire that could not be put out. Humanity would fight. Humanity would endure. Humanity would rise. Far away, the hidden passenger watched from the shadows as his device glowed once more. A short message appeared across the screen to words from Earth. "We're ready." He closed his eyes. The faintest relief in his breath. His mission was nearly complete. Soon, he would not need to hide. Soon, the galaxy would see what it had awakened. Meanwhile, the alien council argued in fear. Their fleets were gathering, their weapons charged, but their unity was crumbling. Each species accused the other of weakness. Each feared the traitor they could not find. Yet still they planned their final blow. "Strike now," one demanded. "Burn Earth before it can defend itself." "Wait," said another. "They are already stronger than we thought. If we rush, we may fail." And in the midst of their doubt, a whisper echoed through the chamber. A voice they could not place, spoken so soft, it felt like a memory. "They are already awake." The words froze them. They looked at each other, uncertain, uneasy. Who had spoken? Who dared to say such a thing? But there was only silence, only shadows, on Earth. The Admiral stood before a map of stars, his voice carrying across the command hall. They wanted a war of shadows. They wanted to bleed us slowly. No more. We fight now. We fight with everything around. Him generals nodded. Scientists activated systems that had never been tested in the light. Pilots stepped into cockpits, their faces calm, their hands steady. Civilians raised banners of unity across every colony the galaxy had wanted to kill. Humanity in silence. Instead, they had awakened something far louder. The hidden passenger slipped through the alien city one last time, cloak brushing the stone streets. He watched the sky above the council world, where fleets hung like dark clouds, whispered. Into the wind, words only the stars could hear. You should have left us alone. Then he turned, vanishing into the night. His path was set. Soon he would not only send messages, soon he would strike. And across the void, humanity's fleets were already moving. Engines roared, weapons charged, the system shook with life. The aliens thought they had prepared for war. But the truth was cruel, and sharp humanity had been preparing longer. The predator had wakened, and the galaxy would never sleep again. The great fleets of the Alien Council gathered at last. From every empire, ships arrived, thousands upon thousands, filling the skies above the council world. Their engines glowed like burning stars, their weapons charged, their banners raised. To any observer, it looked unstoppable. A force built to erase Earth from existence. But inside the council chambers, cracks had already spread too deep. The Ithari commander pointed a claw at the glass-skinned envoy. Your fleets delayed their arrival. You waiting for us to weaken? So you can strike after? The envoy hissed, light flickering in its translucent body. Lies. It is your kind that drags its tail. Perhaps it is you who speaks to the humans. The chamber erupted with shouts. Accusations cut the air sharper than blades. Some races threatened to withdraw. Others threatened to strike their own allies. The elder slammed a staff against the ground, his voice shaking the walls. Silence. If we fracture now, humanity wins without firing a single shot. But his words carried no power anymore. Fear and suspicion had already poisoned the alliance, and in the shadows the hidden passenger moved unseen. He did not speak, but he did not need to. He had already planted enough whispers, twisted enough truths. Now, mistrust grew on its own. When the fleets departed for their first united strike, disaster struck almost at once. Two armadas, meant to travel together, turned their guns against each other. Signals were misread, perhaps altered. Each believed betrayal was at hand. In moments, weapons tore through the void. Tire wings of ships burned, shattered, and fell silent. The survivors fled in panic, leaving wreckage drifting among the stars. Human fleets had not even appeared. Yet alien ships died by the thousands. On a distant colony, human commanders received the report with grim satisfaction. They are destroying themselves, one whispered. The shadow has done more than we ever could. But humanity did not sit idle. Using the coordinates sent by the hidden passenger, they launched precision strikes. Small fleets slipped behind enemy lines, striking fuel depots, destroying command relays, and vanishing before the aliens could respond. Each attack cut deeper into the Alliance's strength. The Council raged in confusion. How do they know where we are weak? How do they always strike the right place? The elder's voice trembled with fear. There is no doubt anymore. A ghost walks among us. One by one, council members began to accuse each other. Fleets turned on allies, soldiers. Mutinied colonies rebelled. The great alliance that was supposed to crush Earth now fought itself more fiercely than it ever fought humanity. From the shadows of the chamber, the hidden passenger finally stepped closer to the light. Only for a moment, only enough for his human face to catch the faint glow of alien fire outside. No one saw him, but if they had, they would have understood the truth. This was not failure. This was design. Humanity had not needed to fight a united galaxy. Humanity had only needed to wait until the galaxy tore itself apart, and the shadow had made sure of it. Across the stars, alien admirals sent frantic messages. Hold the line. Do not trust them. Strike before they strike us. The war they had planned against Earth had become a war against themselves. And through it all, human fleets moved like blades in the dark. Swift, precise, merciless. On Earth, the Admiral watched the star map. The icons of alien fleets blinked. Out one by one, not only from human fire, but from their own. He whispered to his commanders, his voice calm and steady. They thought unity was their strength. We turned it into their weakness. Now they learned the truth. We are not prey. We are the storm. Back in the council chamber, the elder slumped against his staff, eyes dim with despair. Around him, leaders shouted, threatened, demanded blood, but he knew it was too late. The alliance was shattered, and in the dark corner the hidden passenger slipped away, his task nearly finished. His voice, carried through his device, spoke softly across the void. They wanted to end us. Instead, they ended themselves. The galaxy is falling apart, and humanity will rise from the ashes. The fleets outside burned. The council screamed, and the shadow of one human smiled as the great alliance finally broke. The galaxy was no longer united, it was shattered. And now nothing stood between humanity and the war to come. The galaxy had once looked at humanity as prey, weak, outnumbered, a cornered species surrounded by mighty empires. But now, everything had changed. The Great Alliance was broken. Fleets destroyed each other. Colonies turned against their rulers. And the council was silent, torn apart by mistrust. Into this chaos, humanity moved like a predator released from its cage. For the first time in the war, human fleets did not hide. They struck openly, boldly, and with terrifying precision. A squadron of alien warships patrolled the edge of a broken sector, searching for signs of human activity. Their scanners showed nothing but drifting wreckage. Commander ordered the fleet to advance. But then silent shapes emerged from the dark. Human warships. They came without warning, without mercy. Torpedoes cut through shields, railguns pierced holes, and in minutes the alien fleet was gone. Survivors screamed into coms, begging for reinforcements, but none came. Across the sector, all communication relays had already been destroyed. The hunters had become the hunted. Alien commanders whispered in fear, the humans, they do not fight like us, do not hold territory. They strike, vanish, and strike again. Entire trade routes collapsed. Fuel convoys were ambushed. Planetary defenses were disabled by sabotage before fleets even arrived. Human marines appeared on stations thought secure, striking from within, leaving chaos in their wake. On one council world, a governor stood before his people, promising safety. Then, in the middle of his speech, the skies burned. Dropships cut through the atmosphere, releasing fire and steel. The governor fled, but when the smoke cleared, the human flag was planted where he once stood. Fear spread faster than any weapon. Colonies once loyal to the council now hesitated. Some even surrendered to the humans without a fight, believing it was safer than trusting their own rulers. In the war rooms of Earth, the Admiral studied every move. His voice was steady, his orders sharp. We are not chasing victory, he told his commanders. We are teaching them fear. Let them feel hunted in every system, on every world. When they look at the stars, they must wonder if a human waits in the dark. And it worked. Reports poured in from every corner of the fractured alliance. A mining fleet destroyed. Fortress station overrun. A shipyard burned to ash. Each time, humanity grew stronger, capturing alien technology, turning enemy weapons into their own. One alien admiral, desperate to rally his forces, declared, "They are only humans. Strike them, and they will break." But when his fleet entered the Kuros belt, he learned the truth. Asteroids drifted in silence, hiding nothing, or so it seemed. But then, one by one, the asteroids moved. They were not rocks at all. They were human warships, hidden, silent, waiting. The ambush was swift. Beams tore through his flagship. Fire split his fleet in two, and within moments, the Admiral's proud armada was nothing more than burning fragments. His final message was intercepted by humans. A single line, We were wrong. The word spread among alien soldiers like poison. They had once hunted humans. Now they feared every shadow. Every silence in space felt like a trap, and the hidden passenger watched all of it unfold. He moved among the broken council worlds, whispering lies, turning allies against one another, guiding humanity's strikes with deadly precision. To the galaxy, he was a ghost. To humanity, he was the blade that cut first. One night, deep within a ruined station, the Elder sat alone. Once, he had been the voice of unity. He was surrounded by silence. He whispered into the dark, "Humans are not prey, they are predators, and we gave them the hunt." His words went unanswered. In the following weeks, more fleets burned, more colonies fell. The galaxy's strongest empires, once united to destroy Earth, were now fractured, leaderless, and hunted, and humanity was no longer hiding. For the first time in history, the predators of the galaxy looked into the stars and realized they were no longer at the top. The humans had taken their place. The hunters had become the hunted, and soon the final blow would come. The war had reached its final stage. The galaxy was no longer united. Fleets burned in every sector, worlds once proud now trembled in silence. And through all of it, humanity kept striking faster, sharper, deadlier, but even among humans, one question remained. Who was the hidden passenger? The one who whispered in the dark. The one who gave humanity the enemy's secrets. The one who knew where fleets would gather, where planets would fall, where leaders would break. He was a ghost that moved through empires like a shadow. The council feared him more than Earth itself, because wherever he went, destruction followed. Now, the shadow was ready to step into the light, on the council's last stronghold. A massive fortress world, alien leaders gathered in fear. The elder who had once believed in peace now sat with trembling hands. Around him, the others shouted, argued, and accused one another. They cannot be everywhere at once. One shouted, "And explain why half our fleets are gone?" Another answered, "Someone feeds them our movements. Someone among us." The elder closed his eyes. He already knew the truth. The doors to the chamber opened. Soldiers raised their weapons. But the figure that entered was calm. His steps echoed on the stone floor, a human. Not in armor, not in chains. He walked freely as if he belonged there. His eyes were cold, sharp, and filled with something the aliens could not understand. "You," the elder whispered, "were here all along." The hidden passenger smiled. "I sat on your ships. I listened to your words. I learned your fears. You thought me weak, a slave of war. But I was your shadow." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Leaders demanded his death. Soldiers aimed their rifles. But before they could fire, the fortress shook. Explosions ripped through the skies. Human warships had arrived. The hidden passenger raised his hand, and the alien soldiers froze. Not out of loyalty, but fear. "Do you still not see?" he said softly. "Your empires are finished. You hunted us. You tried to break us. But in the dark, we became something greater. We became the predator you feared would one day come." Outside, fire lit the skies as fleets clashed. Inside, silence fell as the leaders realized the truth. Humanity had never been fighting alone. They had been guided, step by step, by this shadow in their midst. The elder rose slowly. His voice was heavy. With despair? Why? Why help them? Why betray your own kind? The hidden passenger's eyes glowed in the dim light. His voice was calm, almost gentle. "Because you never understood. I was never yours. I was always human." The chamber shook again. This time it was not explosions. It was collapse. Fortress was falling. Human forces had breached the defenses. The hidden passenger turned, his cloak swirling in the smoke. Before he left, he gave his final words to the elder. "You thought the galaxy was yours to control. But now it belongs to the hunted who became hunters." To humanity, he vanished into the shadows as soldiers stormed the hall. The leaders were dragged away, their empires broken. Above the fortress world, The last great alien fleet was torn apart. Human ships surrounded them, weapons burning, engines roaring. No escape, no mercy. And then, silence. The war was over. In the following months, worlds surrendered without resistance. Colonies that once cursed humanity now sent envoys begging for peace. Trade routes shifted, power crumbled. The galaxy was reshaped not by the old empires, but by the rise of Earth across every star system. Whispers spread. The humans had done the impossible. They had survived. They had hunted. They had conquered. And in the shadows, the passengers still watched. Not as a ghost now, but as a legend. A figure who would never be named, never be seen again, but always remembered, for he was proof of what humanity truly was. Not prey, not weak, but the predator the galaxy had feared in silence for centuries. The shadow revealed. The galaxy forever changed.